I think the border between hard rock and metal is really in the production of the sounds and the vocals. Metal is where more screaming, more yelling, more barking enters the equation rather than melody and, you know, kind of soaring vocals. And then production-wise, you know, drums have a lot more attack in metal, guitars have a lot more aggression in metal. Hard rock is a little more accessible to the general public and radio, whereas metal, you know, that's more of a genre. That's more, not, I don't want to use the word underground, but it's a focused style that kids either gravitate to or don't.
Well, I think a lot of it was just production value. You know, in the 70s, things sounded a little more natural, a little more raw. Those bands played live in the studio. That all changed in the 80s with technology. People started, you know, doing instruments. A lot of times, obviously, in the 70s, people were recording things one at a time and really, you know, going crazy with overdubs, especially bands like the Eagles or Fleetwood Mac. But I think production had a huge part in the change of the sound of metal. Once they could intricately go in and affect each instrument, the sounds got more aggressive, heavier, you know, kind of nastier. And that once that hit the 90s, and then you had like Pantera and bands like that, they just took the tone of it to another level. So the vocal became more guttural, more screaming, like less singing, less melody. The guitar sounds became more like razor blades and just, you know, nasty and heavy. So to me, it's definitely more on a production level. If you took a Pantera song and produced it like, say, a Nickelback production, you know, it might have a totally different effect on people and probably wouldn't work. So I think that that's probably the biggest change, is just technology.
People still believe in the power of rock and roll music.
Hey, thanks for watching. My name is Daniel Sarkisian. I'm an independent filmmaker from Toronto.